287-0971. Our Rev-Up office numbers are 572-0383 and 572-0215. Rev-Up St. Lucia, the alpha of radio.
It's now time for Meet the Minister, hosted by Terence Fenelon. Mr. Fenelon, welcome once again to Rev-Up and to Meet the Minister.
Thank you, Andre. Good morning, Andre, and to your listeners, viewers.
Morning.
We're on all the platforms, you said?
That's correct.
Facebook, YouTube, X.
Mm-hmm.
And we're beaming in Soufre, right?
Yes. All across the island.
All across the island. Solid. We're revving up the engines today, and it's nice to be here. Thanks again for inviting us. It's Meet the Minister, but today it's going to be Fenelon at large. Because the minister was supposed to be here this morning. Just a little miscommunication, and he'll not. But he has promised that next week. And I think you'll like him. He's the guy who is who likes to take off. and descend, and he has a lot to say. Actually, he booked himself, but we had to change with Auntie Emma because the topic du jour at the time was the VAT and the zero rated and stuff, so we thought it was better to have Auntie Emma on. Well, I'm saying Auntie Emma loosely, Honorable Emma Hippolyte. She came to deal with this matter, and he was supposed to switch, but there was some miscommunication with the producer, so I apologize on behalf of the minister. It's not by design. Some miscommunication, and sometimes it'll be like that. And when it's like that, we can fill in. We have colleagues, Curly, who is always ready to come and assist. So today, Fenelon at large, and in the studio with me is Brother Calix George Jr.
Your student protege.
My student protege, whom I'm well pleased.
And I may not be as verbose or eloquent as the minister, but I'll still try it.
Trust me, you are. As it was a pleasure teaching you, man. I don't know if it's a pleasure having me as a teacher, but that group of students was one of the best I ever had. I have to say that. Sometimes teachers look back, and some of these guys, engineers, and these guys are flying high, man. I'm very proud when I meet Williams and all the others. Mm-hmm. Great stuff, man. Great stuff.
I'm curious, was there any caning at Barbados Secondary?
No, I taught him at RC Boys Primary.
Oh, that's where you taught him?
Yeah, but I don't think I ever caned him. There was no need to.
Well,
but we had rulers,
The one time he actually tried to do that was when he was trying to make an example of an injustice. If I just hold somebody for no reason, you're the one. And I was the one. I remember that for sure.
You remember that? Oh, yeah. Man, there are fun memories.
See that?
But these guys, but
it was a very large class, 39 students. And in those days,
that's right.
On a shift system.
All right.
And they were losing about 15 weeks a year, basically, of tuition under the shift system.
And these guys turned out exceptionally well, engineers, and they all walks of life, Andre. They meet me all the time, and I'm so proud of these guys, So, and that was the first time I met your father. Your father came. He cannot remember that, but we played a lot of cricket on a Friday, and this man loved this cricket, and he had to go to Trinidad for his sister's graduation, and he was refusing to go because he needed to play his cricket.
Imagine that.
So his father came to the school to find out what it is that I was doing that is preventing his son from wanting to go to Trinidad.
He's blaming you?
He's blaming me. And the first time I encountered brother, and he's a very strapping guy, so you intimidated in his presence, So Calix, man, I needed to know who this fella is, you know what I mean? This teacher. But that was fun. That was fun. That was fun, and I'm happy that sometimes you make a little intervention in the lives of the students, and they remember you fondly, long after that you have gone, that you have made an impression. So definitely. He's one of the guys I'm always very proud of, and I've told him so already. So he doesn't. It's not.
He's also told me so. Countless occasions.
It's not anything that it's a secret. But he's here today in his capacity as he's an expert, on a lot of things, Andre. And today we're going to be discussing some of the issues in the air. All right, we're trying to look at the misconceptions and misinformation and try to set the record straight. But as I told him today, first thing we're going to look at, I'm not even going to read it. Andre, before I came on air, when I entered the vehicle, I got a text that the evidence in the Shakadan situation and was it the lady was
Kimberly De
Kimberly
Leon.
De Leon, the evidence was never missing. It was in a box. They had to shut down one of the stations. Everything was placed in a very big box, so it was misplaced. So whether the commissioner was misinformed or somebody deliberately, I don't want to think deliberately, but it is there. And that is a relief, because everybody went off on the SLP and the Prime Minister and everything. But Calix, what is your take on that?
Well, I mean, if it is in fact the case, we have not yet received any official statement
Well, there's a
from
press release,
the Royal
Royal
Senator Police Force as yet.
Yeah.
I think that story, which was covered by the St. Lucia Daily Post, was quoting a source within the Royal Senator Police Force that seemed to be in the know. But I suppose we'll have to wait to hear, in fact, if that is the case. But it really does speak to the sort of state of play of the infrastructure that is supporting our police force right now. Because from the suggestion that it was that the evidence was being stored at the Southern Divisional Police Headquarters down in V4. Right. Remember, that was built in the Dr. Kenny Anthony's time, a massive facility. And it was shut down because of issues of maintenance, air quality issues. And so it seems as if in fact this story is correct, this evidence was part of the challenge of this building being shut down. So if it is in fact correct, it's a bit of a relief. But at the same time, when you're dealing with evidence management is a very sensitive and major issue. You've got to be very careful with it, how the conditions that the evidence is being held under and all of that. The chain of custody, if it went missing, all of these things can potentially throw issues into a case if they believe that certain things, maybe leading to tampering or anything of the sort. So we definitely have to be hopeful that, yes, it might be a relief, but at the same time, it really does speak to the fact that the police require better infrastructure. So
record keeping, and because they should have known, so it has highlighted certain gaps. Sometimes these little things happen, and you have to realize you have to strengthen your internal structures so that something like that does not happen in the future, does not occur in the future, because that's a major lapse, on the part of the police. So it's a teachable moment. It's something to learn, that they ought to learn and say, listen, this happened, and let us put this so that we can correct that. So going forward, we don't have that kind of lapse, because that's major lapse. That's national security. You're talking about major cases that the whole country is invested in.
So Commissioner God is not wrong.
No.
If he came out and he said if it is missing, it was missing.
Right.
If it is now found, that is a bit of a relief. Right. But certainly,
so
let's hope
an
that
internal audit should be done to see where the lapses are and what must be done to strengthen where you see. So these things ought not to happen. So the families must be relieved now, because they went through hell already, and hearing that was compounded the situation. So I think they would have some relief that all is not lost and the evidence is there going forward. Yeah. Okay, so as
it is a major challenge that we have on our hands, though, the backlog of cases, serious cases, criminal cases, and it really is a burden on the justice system, which really, right now, you see the kind of investments that the government is making in terms of the halls of justice. That's a major one, because but also, of course, the prosecutorial capacity has to be there as well, the support for the police. So a lot of these systems have to all come together to address what is a major challenge for this country. I mean, when you're dealing with 70 homicides
that's
a year, and you're going back and you think of that cumulative effect is pretty difficult. It's astounding.
Now, having said that, on Wednesday we saw the police being handed more vehicles, and one in particular was for the forensic
lab, National Forensic Laboratory.
You think that will make a major difference?
Yes, I think when you look at the extent of the investment that we've been witnessing in the Royal St. Lucia Police Force over the past 4 years, it is certainly astounding in very many ways. But even if you speak a little bit more from a political perspective, when you look back over the past 30 years, a lot of the investment that has really been made into the justice system has been under the St. Lucia Labour Party administration. Whether it's the Borderley Correctional Facility, whether it was we talked about the V4 Police Divisional Headquarters,
Construction of
the police stations, Richford,
Yes.
Miku, Denry. These were all new. Marsha was a new police station, and now we, of course, all the others, Soufrière, Labrie, Choiseul, they all got upgraded. Marigot got upgraded. Nearly every single police station, well, new police stations and all that were existing were upgraded.
Yes.
And now we're seeing another wave of investment. And even in terms of the human resources, I remember my dad was the Minister for National Security. One of the things that was done was even the issue of the grades, the salary scales for police officers.
Yes.
A police constable was making far less than a teacher, you know.
Yeah.
I think it was about like $1,200 or something like that. And so there were a number of changes to improve on the police, ensuring that they had insurance. There were a lot of reviews that were done to try to strengthen the human capacity of it. And unfortunately, we saw a dearth of investment in the police between 2016 and 2021. You had a police project, a police station project for Grosley that was already there, ready to go. Never materialized, never went forward. You look at, of course, even the promise of a police headquarters. That did not materialize. All we saw was
demolitions.
The demolitions of what was existing. We saw a few social events, balls
to raise funds
here and there to have a little kakada, to provide a few little things to the police in their stations, but nothing significant in terms of the kind of investment that we are witnessing now. Over $30 million being spent on the Northern Divisional Headquarters up at Grosley right now. That's a tremendous investment in the North, which is very much needed. It was needed a long time ago. You have over 30,000 people living in Grosley. Economic activity. Very, very much needed investment at this point in time to be able to ensure that the police can have the capacity to act in, because right now CID is in Castries. You need to have a dedicated CID in Grosley. You need to have a dedicated traffic unit in Grosley. There are a lot of services that you require in terms of the response to for policing need to also be distributed around the island, and so this is a really important move. But beyond that, the police training vote has come back. $1.2 million spent thus far in training. Soon to be 160 odd police constables. But in addition to that, we saw special police constables being trained as well. Rangers to be assisting in our tourism sector on the beaches and the various tourist hotspots around the island to be able to support the economic activity of the country. Then you've seen let's not only talk about the vehicles. I think, according to the Prime Minister, close to $20 million has been spent on replacement and new vehicles for the police force. That's a major investment, and I think you're seeing the police out on the road. You're seeing them a lot more. And I hope, of course, as Honorable Jeremiah Norbert said, that they are going to be responsible and accountable in terms of the use of the resources that are being provided. But I think what we saw also just past this week is really a show that this government is really committed to every single police officer. Because for a government to be a point, I don't know if you heard Honorable Jeremiah Norbert.
I think I have. He was in a clip there.
Okay, I don't know. You want to take it in?
Yeah, Andre's on his phone there, so he's not listening to us.
But he.
There's a clip there of the bulletproof vest.
He has first-hand knowledge of it, right? So he was a former police officer, and he spoke about when he was in the drug squad. You out, you're coming in on a shift. There's another shift that is already just ending. These guys have been out in the field, out and about, whole day. There were only nine police vests available to the drug squad. So you had to effectively be using somebody else. Well, not somebody else. It's a shed. It's a shed, right? So you come in, you're taking the hot sweaty vest that is the same person that is using. Not just that. In terms of the capacity of it, is astounding. So for the government to decide, for the Prime Minister to decide that, hey, this is unacceptable, and what they're not doing is not just for the drug squad or SSU, to be purchasing 1,300, right, of these ballistic vests. And these are not any. These are the cost of the average cost of that vest is somewhere in the region of $875. Right? They span between $750 and $1,000. Sorry, US dollars. US dollars. By the time you're talking about $2,700 in some instances for one vest.
Yes.
Right? This is a $3 million investment into the police to ensure that they have protection when they go out in the field, because their lives matter.
That's right.
And they need to be able to ensure that they have the kind of sophistication to be able to help.
So they live home.
You can have a sword, that's one thing, but you need a shield too.
Yes. Andre, cue up that. You could let it run, Andre.
The government handed over equipment to the Royal St. Lucia Police Force and the St. Lucia Forensic Science Laboratory to assist in the fight against crime. The police have received a portion of the expected bulletproof vests, which will improve officer health and hygiene. Deputy Police Commissioner Ronald Phillip highlighted that officers have had to share vests, but this new supply will promote better sanitation.
The provision of body armor fit for purpose and tailored to today's realities could not have come at a better time. Body armor does more than protect. It boosts morale, it gives officers the confidence to act decisively, it provides that vital line of defense between law enforcement and criminal elements who in some cases have little regard for life, including the lives of our officers.
The police force also received 2 new vehicles. While Minister for Crime Prevention Jeremiah Norbert expressed confidence in the police, he also urged them to take good care of the vehicles, trusting they will be used properly in the line of duty.
Because a few weeks ago, I went to CWAC in Bexar, and to be quite honest with you, it was really disheartening, really disheartening to see the number of vehicles, police vehicles, most of them should be 2023, 2024 brand new vehicles that are sitting idly on an open lot because of some sort of damage. And I know the nature of the work is one whereby you may have or you may encounter mishaps every now and then, but we must do better.
The St. Lucia Forensic Science Laboratory also received a specialized forensic response vehicle, which will allow for better responses out in the field. Valued at about $168,000, the vehicle is equipped with a service box to organize crime scene consumables and tools. Built on a rugged Nissan Frontier twin-cab 4x4 chassis, it is tailored for rapid and efficient response in any terrain.
There is a working space inside to add a worktop or more shelving as we desire. This vehicle is a comprehensive mobile forensic unit designed for swift deployment. It will be utilized by our staff to respond in the field in ways we were not able to before, to sample bulk seizures and to provide additional support and resources at major crime scenes when requested.
Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre told the police and the St. Lucia Forensic Science Laboratory that they have his full support in keeping crime under control.
And I know that if given the resources, if given the support, and if given the tools to do their work, they will make St. Lucia a safer place to be.
The handover ceremony took place at the RSLPF Academy on Wednesday, 20th August 2025. For the DBS News World, Miriam Montoot reporting.
All right, so colleagues, as you're saying, the investment is tremendous. We are not holding social events to raise funds for the police. National security is too important, especially now, and the nature of the crime, the intensity with these criminals are coming at you, broad daylight, and they will just spray without regard for life, the sanctity of life doesn't matter to these guys. It doesn't matter, they just spray, who get hit, etc. The police have to respond, and we have to make sure that the police have the equipment and the vest. We missed the clip with the vest, but that's okay. We'll come back to that. They have the vest, and they have the necessary tools to keep us safe, and we have to trust the police. I know there's sometimes
and they're also getting the technology too, the surveillance technology. I know they have a drone.
Drones, yes.
They also have CCTV installations which are going up quite a bit. Of course, it's not to say that we're where we need to be yet,
but
right?
we're getting there.
But we are making the kind of progress, and it's not going to come overnight. It's hard for the police, of course, because anytime you hear crime, they're the ones who and people expect to get immediate action and to get results. But I think we are actually seeing some shifts and some trends. Let us hope that we can continue to see Mr. God and his team continue to perform and to get the, and of course they are getting the resources to be able to start implementing and utilizing
the results. Let's appeal to the public to have confidence in the police and to support and back Mr. God, because Mr. God, from what I could see, his heart is in the right place and he's doing the right thing. I know there are people who are critical, and yes, they will be critical. There will be critics. I mean, like I heard a politician talking about Mr. God, you are a puppet, out of the blue. That attack on Mr. God came out all out of the blue. I mean,
Mr. Fenelon, we're in Bolom and Majima season. So what you have right now is a lot of mythological creatures and UWP ghosts that are coming out and creating some stories. I mean, there's so many things that are so blatantly untrue, and I hope we can get to touch on some of them. You know, one of the things that the Prime Minister spoke about was that $30 million investment in the fire service, which is also, of course, part of your discipline forces, response and law enforcement. They play a critical role. And would you believe, and it's about picking up battles, but right now the opposition is not picking any. They want to be all over the place. I guess it's a level of desperation right now. So even you would think that, you know, you leave that alone. You wouldn't go there, right? The current fire chief has actually said this is the largest investment that has ever been witnessed for the St. Lucia Fire Service in terms of equipment and support training for the St. Lucia Fire Service. Over $30 million, right, being spent. And would you believe that a surrogate of the opposition is out there trying to say he can't understand how the government is spending $38 million on two ambulances. Now, I want to just go through that project, because it's a project that is being funded by the CDB. Right? So it's part loan of $9.971 million US dollars and a $230,500 grant, right? So that's about 11 million US dollars, roughly 30 million EC dollars. That is providing one aerodrome truck, right? So for your airport, you need to have these are specialized. There's 5 domestic firefighting trucks, 4 ambulances, 4 quick response vehicles, replacement of all firefighting foam, purchase of self-contained breathing apparatus sets for fire personnel, because they need, obviously, when you're going out there, right? Purchase of a turnout and bunker gear, purchase of extrication equipment, you know, the jaws of death, all of these types of things too, when you're dealing with accident responses, IT training and capacity building. They needed a new practical training ground, which I think is being established at VA4. Refurbishment of their training facility, and also even the care for their state of mind.
Debriefing,
right?
And everything.
So this is actually, that program is actually paying for a psychologist as well, because of dealing with accidents and these types of, you know, response scenes. You know, maintenance plan was also included in that. You know, so it's a comprehensive investment into upgrading the St. Lucia Fire Service. So we've seen a lot of, again, under the Labour Party government, you saw fire stations being constructed at Grosley, at Dennery, at Miku, at Latuni, in Grosley. Right, the Canaries, there's a substation going up there because of the distance response to try to, right? So you've seen a significant amount, and of course, right now they're working on a new fire headquarters for Castries. So that there's ongoing studies being done, looking at the best location for that and what have you. So again, a systematic, right, tackling of these institutions, because you need strong institutions to build a country. And these are critical institutions that we all will benefit from, whether you red, yellow, blue, white, whatever, you're all going to be benefiting from those types of investments. But I just want to say that it's the kind of misinformation
and it's deliberate,
the latest one, I'm not sure if you and Andre noticed it, was the issue of a United PAC post. Now, you know, United PAC is a major mouthpiece of the
UWP.
United Workers' Party on Facebook. Very, very well known individuals behind it. We won't mention any names. But the latest one that they came out with was that St. Lucia's visa overstay rate was 26.6%.
Yes.
Right? Now that figure already sounds alarming,
yes.
right? Now, think back a little bit, because remember, they've been pushing this issue about visas.
CIP,
Remember, their leader once said, St. Lucia, we won't need any visas to go to the United States of America. And people interpreted it as, hey, we're going to get visa-free access, because the United States does have a visa waiver program, right? But as of now, there are only about 41 countries on that program, mostly European countries. And so people thought, hey, okay, there's this belief that this man can somehow bring us
open the doors
to, go to the United States of America. But so right now they're doing the reverse. They're now trying to scare individuals, right, to think that my chances of going to the United States of America is going to be diminished. Right now, of course, we do know that we're seeing major changes in immigration. We're seeing what ICE is doing. We're seeing a lot of matters. We just saw a Grenadian minister losing his visa because of his stance on the Cuban medical missions and what have you. The United States, one of the things they recently announced was a visa bond, and they were suggesting that
a lot of money,
$5,000 to $15,000 US dollars you would have to now pay on top of
what
everything else that you're paying for your visa application. And this was in addition to another thing that they added on, which is called a visa integrity fee, right? So you now, in fact, have to pay close to 1,000 EC dollars to be able to apply for a visa. But so on top of that, they were now saying for certain countries that have high visa overstay rates, right, we will include a bond as part of the requirement, right? Now, they made a big fuss about that. Oh my gosh. Oh, they look at what's coming. The United States came, they announced 2 countries, right, at the end of the day. 2 African countries, not rightfully so in any way, Malawi and Zambia, but that is their choice and prerogative to do so. But then the issue was that this whole thing was based on a report to the U.S. Congress by the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, which looks at every year what is called a visa overstay rate of the X thousand people who come in to the United States from a particular country, how many of them do not go back, right, within the time that they're supposed to go back. So they have a methodology to calculate that. Now, the reality is that report for 2023 said that St. Lucia's visa overstay rate, right, of the 13,000 plus St. Lucians who went to the United States, 264 of them, I think, overstayed. And of that number, in fact, some even went back later on. You'll find out that it actually comes out to 246, right? That works out to be 1.83%.
Just about 2%.
Under 2%, right? How is it that you can come and post a long story? Now, this is a story, you could see that was written by ChatGPT. That's an AI-generated story. Went on and on and on about all kind of things. But creating this fear amongst people and saying that it is a sign of economic crisis, right? That people are overstaying because they want to stay in the United States. It's only countries like Haiti and Laos have rates that high. A whole plethora of things that is just pure myth, pure lies, made up.
And they'll sit there across from Andrea and say these things,
And that is the sad reality of the politics that we are dealing with right now coming out of the United Workers' Party. They literally are making up things.
On Thursday night with the PRO, one of the candidates saying about there's no VAT. We never remove VAT on the sanitary. And I'm like, seriously? Now, I mean, we are 2 men, we know that. That was removed
in August 2023.
And because there was a time limit on it, we were back in Parliament making
in
sure
August.
in August, that VAT now is out indefinitely.
VAT on sanitary napkins to address period poverty. Now, I want to understand, pick your battles.
Man.
Pick your battles. That's my best advice to the United Workers' Party, at this point.
Don't get them out. No. I want them on that trajectory because it's further for us. Well, it's nice for us. I mean, there are some people who are gullible who will believe everything you say. But your government, your administration was there for 5 years. You did not address anything in that matter regarding period poverty, regarding making it more affordable for girls to be able to
afford getting. And it was really expensive. I mean, we wouldn't know that, but the women would tell you that the cost of pads on a monthly basis. Right.
Where I sat, I saw that.
Well, that's true. As a principal, you're right. Exactly.
You know, and the councillor.
So the first thing the government did was an across-the-board measure to remove the VAT on everything. Right. Then this budget cycle, an announcement of $250,000 for assisting schools now to ensure that the schools would have a supply so that when children are in need, they can in fact ensure that they can. Right. It won't be a situation where I cannot go to school because I don't have
toilet paper or little cloth. And really,
this
hit me in the.
Who feels it knows it, right? Yeah. So that is, you would think again. Instead of applauding the move, we saw the stance of Mr. Guy Joseph. He clearly was ignorant about this entire thing.
An ignoramus.
He clearly really did not understand. He went rather vile about it in one of the most disgusting ways I've ever witnessed, to be quite honest, as a politician, to be the kind of things that he was almost suggesting of the Minister for Education. You know, clearly out. Then to come back and say it's not enough money, you know. You remember that?
Because he got so after he realized he made an A of himself, the whole world was watching. He realized he made a major boo-boo. Right. So he tried to walk it back.
So you try to walk it back now. Yeah. But now, to now he's come out and say you didn't even know that there was a VAT reduction or VAT removal on sanitary napkins.
And you're smoking the weed of truth. Come on, Andre, we have to elevate. I mean, I know it's a Bolom season, as you said, and a lot of ridiculousness, but a simple Google search. Go to ChatGPT and educate yourself. As a minister of government, purportedly you have 2 degrees all of a sudden. Speaking that kind of ignorance. I mean, and you asking me to vote. I will stand up and vote for you. You have demonstrated to me that you lack depth and substance, and everything about you is raw. You know, you're not adding anything to our knowledge.
And so divisive to come out and make statements that, you know, you cannot be a Christian if you support one party or another. I mean, why in the year 2025 are we engaging in this type of politics, right? That somehow God only sees yellow or red, that God is involved in the politics, that, you know, that people out there, we've been down this nasty route, remember, you know, accusations of witchcraft and sacrifice. I mean, we've seen traditionally, and from that individual, unfortunately, we've got to call him out for it, because it's not, that type of politics does not belong in our country in 2025 at this point in time.
We have woken up and stuff. Now let's go to another thing. Andre, you paid your staff already, Andre?
An ad. Yes,
it's the 21st, you know. And I didn't realize government had paid the workers from yesterday to the 22nd. I mean, that was early.
Now, you know about misinformation? Yeah. A teacher, somebody was just telling me yesterday that a teacher was told that, oh, you're not going to get your full salary, you're going to get half.
No, I'm coming to that.
But I
was on, you know, I have an open gym. The beach is my gym. I go there every day, and one of my former colleagues, I employed her 8 years ago. And while I was just meditating, because, you know, sometimes you go by the beach, before you swim, you meditate, you know, you take in the music, you're in tune with nature. And she came up to me and said, "Sir," well, they still call me boss, but I'm using "Sir, I am so happy. I got my salary this month."
Right.
Because for 8 years,
the month of August,
she had to scrum. Because you see, the bills did not stop in August. Courts doesn't say, okay, you don't get paid in August. Teachers who go to the financial institution for loans, the loans officer would have to call the school. Mr. Funnel, I have Jack Johnson here applying for this, but I realize he's a temporary teacher. What is going to be his status? You know how comfortable that is? You're nervous, you're on edge, because the institution will not give you a loan because, you know, you have you're temporary, and then you have to reassure them and say, listen, it's okay. So provision has been made, etc. Only then would the lending institution act. And then, so you get a relief. Right now, you don't have to do that, because now that you're getting your salary, so things can continue as normal. And people believe that is a small thing. That's major, you know.
Yeah.
Because when you see you don't get paid as a teacher, as anybody, you don't get paid for a month because your contract ends in July. So you have to see for yourself.
Right.
You have some of them have children that they have to sponsor. They have the can note and stuff. Some of them is hand to mouth, and some of them have not built up that kind of reserve to cushion that blow. So she was extremely happy. I could tell you, if I could have, that would have been a Kodak moment to see the expression. And as anything, I played my politics. I say when Mr. Pierce says he will do something, he will do it. It's not coulda, woulda, shoulda. He said he's going to do it. It is done.
And it would be good to find out how many temporary teachers are there, because I know we have,
quite a bit.
2,000 teachers overall, yes. I think, is it? Or maybe even more than that?
Quite a bit.
So you're talking,
at least 800, in my estimation.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of schools, there are a lot of temporary teachers, and before you get permanence, you see, you have to do the course.
Yeah, teacher education
course, the certificate course. Sometimes if you do it part-time, that might take 2 or 3 years, and so on. And after you get that certificate, you have to work for a year, at least a year, and your assessment grade, your appraisal grade has to be at a certain level. So sometimes it's a process. You understand? So having that now settled, their mind is at ease.
It's a really big win for the education system, and I think we've seen a tremendous amount of investment in education. The facilities fees being paid, CXC fees being paid. I mean, and that's the thing. Can you just imagine? This was not existing 4 years ago, right?
No.
You're not a laptop. Remember Kiga and Kiasa? Right? You're a student now, a parent right now is benefiting tremendously from these types of assistance. And people think these are small things.
No, it's not.
But it's actually helping each child that you have in the system right now. It's a major help.
So you get your laptop. You go into Form 1, you get $500 to start you off. So that could buy a pair of shoes, that could buy the uniforms, that bursary. You get so many.
Then the bursaries, I've never seen so many bursaries being provided as well.
SSDF is doing a fantastic job, I mean, we must get the figures, because there's a lot of help for students in need. And the facilities fees, the schools are not having all these barbecues and all these fundraisers again, because Mr. Pierre has ensured with the payment of facilities, schools can manage now and stuff. And then you have 4 CXCs being paid. 4 CXCs being paid. That's a lot of students average, they do 5. So all you have to do now is pick one subject. You understand? So that is...
And it's interesting that we're taking these actions and we're actually ahead of places like Guyana now, because Guyana just introduced a similar thing, including the whole issue of the VAT removal on
sanitary napkin. They have not done it. He says if elected in this cycle, he's going to remove VAT on sanitary napkins. All right? They just started, I think, paying CXs for everybody because they're oil rich.
Right.
So... In the subsidy, the bus subsidy, well, we pay transport for all of the children, but he's going to give the subsidy to students and stuff. So there's a lot, Andre, that Philip J. Pierre has led, and the other Caribbean leaders are following. And we have to be proud of that. We have a clip there, I don't know if they said it to you. The French ambassador is hailing Philip J. Pierre because he was able to settle the debt. They have. You have that clip, Andre? Let's play that, Andre.
Is your government satisfied that we've been able to utilize what has been given so that we can improve health care for our citizens?
Well, there is an element which is not necessarily known by the public but deserves to be known. When we organize, especially for emergency situations, transfer of people to the hospital in Martinique, when we use a helicopter, for instance, and this is a case almost, I would say, every fortnight, it has a cost. For many years, there was a debt from St. Lucia towards the hospital. This debt has been paid. And for this...
It's paid in full now?
Absolutely. And for this, we are extremely thankful. We salute the decision of the government, which is not an easy one, but this is a sign, I would say, of great trust, if not absolute trust, in our system. I salute again the decision of the government and of the Prime Minister, who came himself announcing it.
Andre, Philip J. Pierre is a leader because healthcare. I mean, St. Jude will be open. But here is this is the ambassador, the French ambassador, St. Lucia, hailing our Prime Minister for taking that step. And it's a matter of faith and trust. And
now, last night the leader of the opposition at the chamber meeting was criticizing the Prime Minister for using the Saudi loan towards St. Jude. Saying that he would have spent it on a road or something. I mean, could you believe that?
But me and Morton just went to the Saudis for the same thing, to beef up the healthcare situation in Barbados and other stuff. This guy is just...
and I think you can see the commitment of the Prime Minister and the Labour Party towards social democratic values, investing in education, investing in healthcare, investing in social protection for individuals who don't have... I mean, it's a very consistent approach that we're seeing. Housing as well is one of the areas. Hopefully we can do more in it.
Yes.
But we are seeing, assistance in terms of the housing program and projects and like that in Rockhall and other places. Yeah. So you really have to show that, look, you've got to take care of people. To ensure that you have that social peace, that equity in the society. Because that's what drives crime,
That's right.
That is the inequity in a society.
Yeah.
So it's not going to disappear overnight. It hasn't. But you're seeing the actions to change course.
One of the things I was about to say, I was going back to Guyana. The minimum wage. Andre, would you believe Guyana is now following St. Lucia? And Irfan Ali, well... That's PJP's partner.
Yeah.
He must have spoken to people and said, well, what are you doing there? How are you doing? And the oil rich. He's now saying that if elected, which most likely he will be, he is going to increase the minimum wage to $60,000 a month. Now that works out to be just about ours. It's going to be just $25 more than us. What ours is what?
$11.36 EC.
Yeah. Oh,
per month.
Per month, yeah.
Oh, you mean
no, the pension. Sorry, not the minimum wage. The pension. The pension. He's going to increase the pension from up to $60,000, which the government pensions.
Okay.
Ours is at $725.
Right.
Theirs will be about $750.
Okay.
And you're talking about an oil-rich nation.
Yes.
They are now going to do that.
Yeah.
Philippe J. Pierre and his administration. We have gone there already. So not only that, the NIC pensioners also just got another 3.9%. Andre.
Yeah.
So today I'm going there hopefully to collect my mother's checks. You know what I mean? It's a little kakada, but you can take care of our bills. You understand? And as I said in another program, people talking about there's no healthcare, that's not true. My mother gets her prescriptions filled at the government dispensaries. I'm using dispensaries, so you know my age. The government pharmacies. When I go there, and it's filled, because my mother is 92.
Yeah.
And not a very healthy 92. So when you see that, there are 6, 7, 8 items there, and we can get all of them filled because of our age and stuff, NIC and stuff. And people saying there's no Panadol. That's not true. So, Philip J. Pierre, because he invested in health, he helped clear the payables that were outstanding. These guys
$50 million.
Yes, these guys took endless money during COVID, and they never paid the debts.
Remember the $7.2 million
for
vaccines that we never got?
Waste of money, reckless. You understand? Now, let's go to another, right up your alley. I'm coming to you. Well,
okay.
You want to say what you say first before we deal with it?
No, you might be getting on to the topic because I want to talk about investment. And
let's go to GPH.
Okay. Sorry to disturb. No calls today?
We might take a few because we must deal with GPH because, Andre, when you see people sit across you and say, they sold the pots for $1. I mean, cheese on. You don't believe that, right, Andre?
No, they were saying that the current administration was critical of their administration when they sold this Tiwa King arrangement for
totally
$1.
Different, eh?
Big
if
difference.
we have time. We may not have time, Alex,
because of course that was being bandied all over the place.
DSH
that we sold.
DSH was for 99 years. That is effective. What is called an M5 lease. That is almost, if you ask a lawyer, that's almost as good as saying you sold it.
Yes.
Right?
I've got nothing.
99 years is more than to a building. When you construct a building, you normally say, well, this building is going to last for 50 years before you depreciate it for that length of time, right? So when you talk about 99 years, that's about 2 depreciation cycles. That means that basically you're getting no use. Even after that 99, you as the person who is leasing will get no use out of whatever investment was made on that property. That's very different from a PPP or these types of arrangements where you say you're going for a 20, 30-year period, right? the entity comes in and makes the investment, and then you still have the time to benefit from that investment. But of course, the investment is made. So this idea that it was sold for $1 an acre is $1 an acre plus $80 million. That's the math you need to be talking about. It cannot be just because the developer is coming in and investing that amount of money. In the case of DSH, there's no benefit to the state. Even right now, can you believe, even right now, DSH is there, right? There's a racetrack, a facility. The Equine Association, the local Equine Association, cannot use that facility. There's no rights that they can do. They had to go and create a little track for them on the side of the Kakabeth, right? Because they can't use it. It's a private facility.
The only set of people I know using that is UWP when they want to have big goes and dances. And
not even the horses that they brought in. The thoroughbreds went to Barbados and they've been sent out. The 40 thoroughbreds. No, so it's a dead horse of a project. And to still be trying to defend it.
That.
Again,
come on,
pick your battles. You spent $15 million having to realign the road. You had a $24 million project, Mr. Ezekiel Joseph. Your minister was so proud about that project. It cannot be used because you've signed an agreement to say you have an equine disease control zone and you cannot use that.
So let's talk about GPH and some of the benefits. First off the bat, $20 million SLASPA debt was cleared, that's about 54 million EC dollars.
Yeah, SLASPA was struggling to pay this debt, which was taken out by the former government to expand on the Booth 1 for larger vessels. So that was cleared by GPH. Now remember, GPH is a let's just be clear. GPH is a company that is right now controlling Nassau Port. That's the largest port in the Caribbean right now, cruise port. They're in Puerto Rico. They're in Antigua, and they're in a number of other places in the Mediterranean and whatnot. So they're a port operator. They have expertise in that, but they also have the means to be able to pull in, because they have a network of ports, they've been able to pull in more traffic. Right? So they can grow your business.
More traffic means
more traffic means more revenue coming in.
That's right.
So everybody benefits.
Right.
So the idea is that you want to improve your cruise product. The GPH is coming in and they're making investments within the port of Castries. Banans Bay, for example, is one of them. They're Soufrière waterfront, improving the allowing. Look, they were boasting last season there. For the first time, you saw 3 cruise vessels in Soufrière in a day.
Yes, I was down there and
and they say.
And they were telling me, yes. I was surprised.
So you're creating the infrastructure to be able to support this cruise sector, to bring in more cruise. Your Vendors Arcade is being upgraded. You're making improvements to your waterfront promenade, make it more friendly for visitors. So all of these more parking as well for your taxi operators, making those kind of structural improvements to your port. Why would you not want to do that? In fact, he did want to do it when he was there, and probably would have done it if he was coming there. Now, when you talk about any other project that you have, like the Castries car park, I'm just making an example and comparing this notion about $1 an acre. When you have Bolt projects, build, own, lease transfers, you actually transfer the property to the developer. The property becomes the property of the developer. They own it. For the period
of time.
And they lease it to you, right? So that's how the Ministry of Communications and Works building was built.
And I understand
that's how the car park was built. It's somewhat similar to what he tried to do with respect to the Orange Grove, except in the case of Orange Grove, it was very different because we don't actually have ownership at the end of the period. We don't have ownership of the property. We just have rights to a floor or 2 within the property at the end of the 15 years. But that is a means, and after the 15 or 20 years is done, under Bolt, the government pays $1 to get it back. So it's a peppercorn rate, just symbolic. So the whole idea in this one is somewhat a little bit of a converse, because you are leasing. So you are the lessor, providing the lease, and that's why it's $1 an acre. But they are coming in with the capital. They are coming in with the money now, $80 million, to invest in the property, which you have at the end of the 30 years.
So that business of being sold,
we would have never had the racetrack and all the investments that that were going on there.
And it's not really going to cost us a cent because the developer is taking on all the risk. And it's in his interest to do that as quickly as possible so that he can begin to get a return of an investment. And as you said, the more traffic, the more revenue, we are better off for it. So when people talk about, that is standard operating procedure, Andre. In Puerto Rico, it's the same 30 years. In Liverpool, it's the same 30 years, and so on. That is standard. That is standard.
We also need to make the point that there's a very strong investor confidence right now in the country.
Yes.
You remember back in 2017, 17, 18, 19, we were being told about 1.5 billion US dollars of investment coming. Never materialized.
Right.
The two projects that we had that were completed during that period of time were in fact projects that started under the Kenny Anthony administration, the Harbour Club and the Royalton. What do we have right now? Right? You have investments at Isla, right? Massive investment, over $1 billion in investment. You have Harbour Club just announcing that they're going to look at a new Harbour Club residence.
Yes, something.
A 12-story structure, I think it is going to be transformed. You have the right now ongoing Rodney Bay City Centre, which is a massive investment. Republic Bank coming in as an anchor on that. You've got the project in Casabah, the I Hotel it was called before. You know, you have Bay Gardens expanding.
Yes. Where's that new hotel there? I don't know.
At the end of the
where
just next to it are the Bay Gardens Beach Resort.
Where Happy Hours
opposite opposite Happy Day.
Happy Day Bar, yes.
Right. You have you already seen the demolition work that's starting on that Redry Beach stretch.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Where we had the Rex and the Royal and one.
Yes.
That is going to become a 1,400 room spread across I think 3 or 4 different properties. But it's one owner, but they're doing different brands, basically, or different offerings. We've seen the reopening of a number of projects, like the Secrets, for example, got rebranded. You're seeing a lot of investment. Anne Chasney is doing expansion. You're seeing a lot of Windjammer, I think, wants to do some there too. So you're seeing the level of confidence.
If you go to VG now, the sign is up.
Yeah.
Where Red Lion, I think it was.
Right. That was one of the earliest hotels there. I know there's some people who are saying, it's a beach and stuff. But actually was always a hotel there in that location.
One will be 10 stories, condominiums and stuff. So they have asked for people to send in their written objections, etc. by the 12th, I think, of September. So another major investment.
You've just heard, of course, Isla also announcing that they want to push forward with a development at Marquee, which was, a project which came and went under Harlequin, but you're now seeing a new investor coming in, purchase. So you've got a lot of movement in terms of, and you're seeing it, of course, in terms of the drops in unemployment rate. You're seeing, and that then helps the country because now the NIC can start talking about doing unemployment insurance.
Right, that's right.
All right, so you're getting to a point where it's becoming pretty difficult to be able to get labor, especially in the construction sector.
Yes.
It's a good problem to have, but it means that the government now has to look at a lot of its efforts in terms of training. You see what they're trying to do in terms of the TVET schools and the TVET council and getting people to get CVQs, because you now need to be able to meet the demand within the construction sector especially.
Right.
But in so many other, and look, KM2, another 1,000 jobs.
Yes.
You know, and this is again...
we might take 2 calls, Andre. We might take 2 calls. I mean, I know they'll give us pressure. Yes, let me just say something. Calix is not a minister, but he's one of the most brilliant minds that we have in St. Lucia, okay? And this guy talk about he has thing in criminology and stop this nonsense. Certification doesn't mean anything. What matters is what comes out of the mouth, the substance, and you could judge for yourself, okay? So I'm always happy to have Calix with me, my student, because he's a brilliant mind, okay? And somebody's telling me to tell him, I'll not disrespect him, Fede, that when the substation in Canaries is open, they're hoping that he brings the ambulance for which monies he may have collected on behalf of the state, all right? So, because he said he was collecting monies to buy an ambulance.
So
we're hoping that ambulance will be delivered on time. Okay, Andre, we may take one call. Yes, good morning, caller.
Yeah.
It's normally meet the minister, but today it's Fanello at large. Put on your headphones.
Yes.
We'll just entertain 2 calls or so. You know what I mean? Let's be respectful. If I can't answer the question, if you can't, we will take it on to the relevant authority and then we'll get back to you. Good morning. Thanks for calling. Meet the minister.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Before I ask the question, right, I want to make a suggestion.
Yes, sir.
Right? Check the records of the 1980s and the 1990s of the St. Lucia Fire Service to see how much monies that was allocated to the engineering section that went back to the treasury. That's of the fire service. I want you to check the records because
you give me
a
homework,
lot of
boy.
money
Give
that
me
was
homework.
allocated went back.
Okay, great.
Right. So I found, okay, one more. I find that it's a wastage of taxpayers' money buying vehicles over and over when you can properly, right, maintain those vehicles by putting an additional well-equipped garage in the south, right, that will cover Miku to Soufre, than to send those vehicles, right, to private garages, because I've heard a lot, I'm not saying on air, about those private garages.
All right, thank you. Yeah,
By doing
point
that,
taken.
one more, by doing that, the vehicles can last 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, maintenance.
Okay? 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, proper
and I brought this
maintenance,
up
yes.
and it has been falling on deaf ears.
Yes.
Okay? I was part of, during that time in the fire service, I was part of that team.
Yeah.
And we made a fire truck last 33 years.
Very nice.
I joined, that truck was there in 1972. I joined in 1980 and I left in 2002 and that truck was still there. Right?
Okay.
So these are the records. So I have brought this up. It has been falling on deaf ears. So I want you to review this properly.
Great stuff. Yeah, maintenance is important. We build things and we don't factor in maintenance costs.
Yeah.
Thank you, caller. Let's take another caller, Andre.
Not as yet.
Not as yet.
The line is not clear as yet.
And just yesterday, as we were speaking about investment, over $20 million being invested by Baron Foods in a new facility. It's actually going to be almost a tourist attraction. You're going to be able to go there and experience stuff.
Right.
So it's a major investment in the south of the island, in the cantonment area, in that flat area. So again, you're seeing lots of interest at this point in terms of the private sector investing, because obviously they see that the country's in a good place right now, and we should be continuing to reap the benefit of that.
With somebody who is very measured and who is steady, and nobody's asking anybody to pass it to invest.
Right.
You understand? So yeah, that says a lot, Andre. We have a caller. Good morning, caller. Thanks for calling me, the minister.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Paul, you remember a few weeks ago I called you and I said politicians like to gaslight you?
I remember.
Yes, and you said if I call him Rick Winhole, and you were laughing. Anyways, yesterday, Mr. Montut was on your station with Mid Opposition, and he's complaining about a 30-year deal. It wasn't his government, the Simon who signed one for 99 years. You say I'm gaslighting and making you believe something. Mr. Paul, what's the average mortgage when you buy a house?
30 years.
How many years do the bank give?
About 30.
So, exactly. So he wants to complain about 30 years when his government did one for 99 years and gave away 1,000 acres.
Gave away,
in our tiny island. And then what did that do? There is no more motorsports taking place. Corpus Christi, National Day, December 13th. You know, down there, all these guys go down there and take out their testosterone against each other. Where do they do that now? On our streets.
Yeah.
You see them in Carrasco or JQ Mall drifting and doing that. There's nowhere for these guys to do their motorsports. Why? Mr. Paul, if someone give you a gift, also the abattoir, where and I'll tell you, my mom was in the hotel industry as a purchaser. The chef would ask for certain cuts, and the average butcher who has a little butcher shop don't know how to cut the meat to get what the chef wants. We had an abattoir that was going to do it. That was something good for the hotels, to get the cuts to buy from local farmers. What happened with that? It was a gift. But then this same government criticizing us for how we treat Tyson, what happened with Tyson, a gift, a call from the French, you know? But y'all did the same thing to a gift of an abattoir. So stop gaslighting. Stop
Thank you,
making us
caller.
believe you're
Thank you.
you're so honest.
Yeah,
like, come on, like.
Carlos, we could not have said that better.
Very well said.
Very well said.
Yeah.
Thank you very much,
That's the
caller.
point.
Yeah.
Definitely the point there.
Andre is not kicking us out yet, so you're giving us a few more minutes?
5 minutes.
Okay. Right, Andre? Well, Andre does kick us out fast. He doesn't do that with the opposition,
That's not true.
We have a call, Andre?
Yes, we
Yeah,
do.
let's take that call. Good morning, caller. Thanks for calling me the minister. You see that, Andre? Okay, thanks, caller. Let's say you.
Hello, good morning, Andre. Good morning, Mr. Khalid. Good morning, Mr. Fililo.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
Okay. Thanks for accepting my call.
Yeah, I'm always happy to have you call,
Mr. Khalid, a short question. The GPH project, are they doing the Castries Bannon project together with the Soufre project? Or after the Castries Bannon project, they're going to Soufre? I want to know what's happening there.
In terms of the timeline, I can't speak specifically as to how they're doing it, but I know the intention is to get everything going pretty quickly.
Yes.
So they're currently doing the marine side of works. You've seen that operating right now. They'll be adding in some new jetties in Banan. I think by the Vendors Arcade, they're doing the platforms where they're going to be putting on these balconies on the waterfront. In Soufre, they have intention of doing some work there too, in terms of the improvements of the jetties, because you need more capacity for the tenders, the vessels coming in. So I can't speak specifically to the exact timeline as to what they're doing, but I know they've been looking at both projects in tandem.
Right.
So hopefully, of course, in the case of Banans, they're still working out the relocation, settling those matters. But I would expect that very soon we'll see some actual action there as well.
Yeah. Another caller?
Yes, we do.
Yes, good morning, caller. Thanks for calling me, the minister. Let's have a question, please.
Gentlemen. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Yes, especially to Mr. Carrick. He's an engineer. I didn't really I never understood what he was saying about the car park and the foundation and the structure of it.
No. In terms of the financing of the car park, remember the Conway car park?
Yes.
It was funded through what is known as a build, own, lease, transfer arrangement, which is a kind of a public-private partnership model. And what I was saying is that in that instance, as well as in the instance of the Ministry of Communications and Works building, similarly with the new halls of justice, similarly with a lot of these projects which you go through a bolt arrangement, the property is actually transferred from the state to the developer. And at the end of the contract period, the agreement period, it is then the state pays $1 to get it back. But it's actually, it belongs to the developer for that period of time. And then the government during that period of time leases it and pays, rentals and whatnot. And that it's almost like a lease to own or, rent to own. So you actually pay, you make your monthly payments. And then at the end of the day, it becomes yours.
Yes.
So that's how the Conway building was built. That is how the...
I know,
right.
but I know, kudos to Mr. Tom Walker. I know about that. Let's jump to the DSH. Did you know that the DSH, the plan of DSH, was not organized firstly by the opposition leader at the time, was Prime Minister when he came in? That was a situation negotiated by the St. Lucia Labour Party, by certain members of the high up of the St. Lucia Labour Party. And then Mr. Chasney saw it was a deal come through because of employment and institutions that could help the DSH. He went to a man that you were negotiation with for a long time. So he took up on the occasion. But
if it's a bad deal, caller, if it was a bad deal, you don't get into it. And I'm very familiar with the DSH during that period of time, because I actually remember even attending some of the stakeholder meetings. Dr. Kenny Anthony brought a number of stakeholders who had interest from agriculture, from environment, commercial sector, to be able to see that deal. But the problem with the DSH deal is that the developer was not coming with any kind of significant assets or capital of his own. He was then going to depend on... He was hoping that the money would somehow come from the state, right? And that's the problem. he was able to do that kind of thing in Dubai, which is flush with money, right? But in the case of St. Lucia, that's not really, because so he wasn't really coming as a true developer. The man's background is an architect. Good for him that he was able to design some of these projects. But he was not coming with the kind of capital and means to be able to actually deliver the project. So the promises that we've seen, remember we were promised 400 horses. Yeah. We were promised races every day. None of that has materialized.
Because it came to a standstill because of the change of government.
It came to a standstill way before the change of government.
Yes, that's right.
But besides that,
why would the government have to even the inaugural race was funded by the government of St. Lucia, Invest St. Lucia.
We brought in this reggae fella that was paid for by the
Pierre
states.
Akin never furnished the DSH horse racing ground. He never put any money in it.
I'm not saying that he didn't put any money into the infrastructure. What I'm saying is that to run a facility like that, it costs money. You have operating costs.
And
the reality is the model was a flawed model, caller. The model itself.
Let me tell you, Mr. Calix.
All right, wait, caller. Let's give somebody a chance. You
don't run away from
No.
I don't want to run away from him.
No, we're not running away from him. I know the caller.
You're running away from it. I'm going to make a very important statement.
We know about the DSH and think we're not going to rehash that,
I'm not
etc.
talking about that. The Barbados Surf Club.
Yeah, but Barbados has a long tradition of racing. The busiest, the country with the most horse racing right now in the Caribbean is Jamaica. Jamaica, right? And it is, but it is not. Caller, my uncle used to race horses in Barbados.
That's okay.
I know about racing as well. So the point is, it is a different situation, caller.
All right, we're not going to have a
different situation.
Let's take another call, Andre. Thank you very much.
I think we need to wrap up.
Oh, we need to wrap up.
The economic model of the horse racing never made any sense.
Yes.
Right? And of course that's why we clearly are seeing that it has not been able to come through.
That's right. Let me just say I want to thank Calix for filling in there at the last minute. Calix is always a welcome. Let me just tell people, he's an engineer by profession, but he's a very sound mind, very sharp mind, and you could hear from what he delivers. All right. I make an apology again for the minister. That minister will be with us next week. He has given us that assurance. And listen to me, he can speak on a number of issues. Andre, I think would be your audience will be happy to
have a very elevated conversation.
Yes, conversation. Nice, nice Monday. So we're going to have a nice time. So thank you again for allowing us into your homes, into your vehicles, into your living rooms, etc. And we shall see next Friday with another minister, Meet the Minister this time. So thank you, Calix, for coming in.
Thank you.
Great show.
Thank you,
Calix. Andrew, and thanks, listening.
And thank you very much, Mr. Fenelon. You've been listening to and viewing Meet the Minister exclusively on Rev-Up St. Lucia every Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. So listen next week Friday, same time, same station for another Meet the Minister. Well, this is the end of my stint here on Rev-Up for today, Friday the 22nd of August. Thanks for listening. You have yourself a nice day and a safe weekend. Andre Paul saying so long. We have Kina coming on next. She'll be with you until 3 this afternoon. In fact, from 2 o'clock until 2 o'clock this afternoon, because from 2 o'clock until 3, Tony Paul will be here with the countdown, the Rev-Up St. Lucia countdown. Okay, then Zen the DJ takes over from 3 o'clock until 5, and then from 5, all politique. Right here on Rev-Up St. Lucia. Bye-bye.